All right, go ahead and continue.
Okay, seeing that we have quorum, if you can all rise and join me in the flag salute.
I think they want you to.
Oh,
Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. Thank you, everyone. City Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
You want to have a seat now?
yeah, put
Do you want to have a seat now?
it. Okay.
Want to have a seat? You want to check it out? Here we go.
Do we need this one?
If you could, Councilmember Davis, mute your microphone until we're ready. Mayor, I'll call the roll. Mayor Ibarra,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
I'm here.
Thank you. Councilmember Lopez.
Here.
Councilmember Larios.
Here.
Councilmember Merlo. I don't believe she's present yet. You have a quorum.
Thank you. City Clerk, do we have any changes to the agenda?
There are none.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Please be sure to state your name when you're moving. I believe that was a motion by Councilmember Larios, seconded by Councilmember Lopez to approve the agenda. Mayor Ibarra,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Larios,
Yes.
and motion carries.
Thank you. Now we'll take public comment from members of the audience. If you'd like to provide a comment through Zoom, please click the raise hand button. Are there any public comment at this time?
There is none.
Thank you. We'll now go on to closed session item agenda for number 1 and 2.
But this time, if you could mute your Zoom meeting and stop your audio, those participating in closed session will use the call-in number that was emailed to you. If you need it, please let me know.
I'll go ahead and pause recording for this portion.
Thank you.
All right, when ready, presume.
Is everybody back? Are we waiting for anybody? Okay, now we're back from closed session at 9:41. Interim City Attorney Musa will provide a report.
City Council met in closed session on items number 1 and number 2, and no reportable action was taken.
Thank you. City Clerk, can we make a note in the attendance that Councilmember Merlo joined us right before closed session?
I did, thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll go on to new business. Agenda item number 3 is the 2021-2022 series electric revenue bonds. Finance Director Williams will present the staff report. Scott, you're on.
Scott, you're muted still. Could you unmute?
Sorry. Yes, good morning, Honorable Mayor, honorable members of the City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present for the Council's consideration the staging of financing for the MGS project and the issuance of the 2021-2022 series electric revenue bonds for City of Vernon Public Utilities. There have been, as you know, many steps in the process, and this has involved assembling a team beginning with city administration, our legal department, finance, our project consultants, bond counsel, our financial advisory services, as well as securing an underwriter for the city for the issuance of these bonds. And it has been a very busy process of activities, but that has brought us to this final work product that is attached to this staff report. And there's a lot of documentation there. But what this includes is what we refer to as the preliminary official statement. So the POS is the official statement that describes the essential terms of the bond in a lot of detail. It also includes a lot of information about the utility, management, its operations, as well as finance. This statement is the document used by the underwriting firm to sell the bonds to potential buyers. And importantly, it is also to protect investors, investor interests per SEC requirements. And there was extensive due diligence process as part of the final OS. Included in this as well as the indenture, which is essentially the legal and binding contract used in bond agreements. So the plan of issuance includes two parts. There is the Series 2021A for the financing of the project. And then there is what we call the forward refunding of and this is the Series 2022. So refunding is when we refinance a bond, and this is the refunding of the 2012, and the first call or availability to do that is next August. So we can issue 3 months in advance of that. And the purpose of this is the favorable conditions of financing, which will result in approximately 17 million of savings. So that becomes part of the operations of the utility. The next actions of the bond financing, you've heard some of this, but there is the posting of the POS, and at the beginning of what we refer to as the roadshow by our underwriter Goldman, to engage interested investors. We anticipate receiving our bond ratings from S&P and Moody's, hopefully between this Friday and Monday. December 7th is the pricing and sale of the bonds, and that will depend on market conditions. Bond closing, December 14th, final closing of the transaction. And then the forward delivery will be May 5th next year. But in the meantime, we're locked in. That's what we're doing at this present time. Recommendation that the council adopt a resolution for the issuance of the 2021-22 revenue bonds for the acquisition of Malberg and the forward refunding to realize debt service savings. That concludes our report, and we are available for any questions. And we have our, we mentioned the array of consulting partners as part of this who are also available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Scott. What do the rates look like on the bonds right now if we go out for it?
The rates are, because these are tax exempt, the effective rate is less than 2%.
Are there any questions for council? Seems as though there's no further questions. Are there any public comment on this item? Okay, seeing that there's no public comment, may I have a motion for item number 3?
I'll move Lopez.
May I have a second?
I'll second Larios.
With a motion from Councilmember Lopez and a second from Councilmember Larios, City Clerk, can you call the roll?
To adopt resolution number 2021-43, authorizing and approving issuance of bonds, Mayor Ibarra,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Larios,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Merlo.
Yes.
Motion.
Thank you, City Clerk. Agenda item number 4 is the issuance placement for Malberg Generating Station, MGS. Finance Director William will present this staff report.
Yes, good morning again. So another just quick item related to the acquisition of Malberg. So with the acquisition, the finance department engaged the city's insurance broker, Aon, to conduct an analysis and determine the appropriate levels of coverage to protect both the assets of MGS as well as the activity that goes on. The findings and recommendations include using a combination of existing and new policies. So because there's going to be activity that we're not directly engaged in right now under the PPTA, there will be some new coverages, but where possible, we're going to use existing policies. These are all listed on the table included. And then at January, as soon as we're closed and go forward, we start a full analysis where we will look at all of our insurances to see what are the opportunities to leverage the existing policies ultimately for savings. This has a not to exceed. We put a range in here of 1.5 to 1.7 million just because we want to make sure that the city administrator is able to bind these in a week or so, or 2 weeks, to make sure that we have coverage at the time we take delivery of the operation. But the estimates that have come in are consistent with the 1.5 as expected. So that concludes this report.
Thank you, Director Williams. Are there any questions from council at this time?
Jim?
With no questions from council, are there any public comment on Zoom?
There are none.
With no questions and public comment, may I have a motion for item number 4?
I'll move Larios.
May I have a second?
I'll second Lopez.
With the
Motion by
motion, Councilmember Larios, and a second from Councilmember Lopez, City Clerk.
To approve the procurement of necessary insurance coverage for MGS for fiscal year 2021-22. Mayor Ibarra,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Larios,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Merlo.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll go on to item number 5 is the amendment to classification and compensation plan. Human Resource Director Earl will present the staff report.
Good morning, Mayor and members of the City Council. As you'll recall, at the City Council meeting of November the 16th, 2021, positions and salaries were established in order to transition existing MGS staff to city employment upon the acquisition of the power plant by the city. Since the approval of the purchase agreement, additional information has been provided to the city regarding the duties of certain positions, the qualifications of certain existing personnel, and in particular, the overtime pay policies of the current owner of the plant. In order for the city to provide wages comparable to existing salaries, and after further comparison to the city's current positions and our overtime policies, revisions to certain job descriptions, the establishment of 4 new additional job descriptions, and adjustments to the previously approved salaries are warranted. The proposed recommendations will provide job descriptions and salaries that are more reflective of the duties being performed and will allow the city to incorporate the transitioning employees into the city's existing overtime policies, which will provide consistency and equity among the department's positions. If the council has any specific questions on the recommendations, I'm happy to provide additional information, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Director Earl. Does council have any technical questions for staff on this item? Are there any public comments on this item?
I have a question.
Sure.
What was the difference between the city's compensation and the existing one that they had at the plant? Was there a big difference? Did you have to revise a lot?
The key difference is in the way that the current company is paying overtime. They're paying overtime based on working more than 8 hours in a day, and our policy currently is based on working over 40 hours in a week. Many of the operations personnel work a 12-hour work schedule, a 12-hour day work schedule. So the company has been paying 4 hours of overtime every day. And our policy is not that we don't have that practice or policy. So that was the biggest difference. So we wanted to adjust salaries to make some allowance for that difference in the way that the pay was computed.
So we changed our policy to match theirs.
We're actually not changing our overtime policy. What we're recommending is that we actually bump up the hourly rates for certain positions in order to compensate to some degree for the difference in the way that we pay overtime. It's also the adjustment in the salaries, the increases also brings it more close to comparable, some similar positions that we already have within the organization.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any further questions from council? Seeing that there's none, and are there any questions on Zoom?
There are none.
Okay, may I have a motion for item number 5?
I'll move Lopez.
I have a second.
Okay.
And Judith. With the motion from Councilmember Lopez and a second from Councilmember Merlot, City Clerk, can you call the roll?
Yes, the motion is to approve new and revised job descriptions and adopt resolution number 2021-44, amending Exhibit A to the classification and compensation plan. Mayor Ibarra,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Larios,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Merlot.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank
Now
you.
we'll go on to oral report. City Administrator Fandino, do you have a report?
Yes, I do. Good morning, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. The city's excited again to donate a tree to be displayed and decorated at the main hall elementary school. As a reminder, the delivery will take place today at 10 a.m. following the special council meeting that we're currently in session. The council is welcome to join staff. Lily will text each and every one of you that want to attend if you want to attend in person and with the donation of the tree. The holiday tree lighting ceremony will be this Thursday, December 2nd at City Hall lawn. And again, we're going to be transforming the City Hall into a winter wonderland, courtesy of Arctic Glacier. The city will be providing coffee, hot chocolate, and sweet treats for all attendees. We look forward to the event and should be a festive and fun gathering for the community. That's all I have.
Thank you. I do have a report to make. On Saturday, November 20th, I attended Supervisor Solis's Operation Gobble Gobble event for the Southeast LA area. It was hosted in the City of Commerce. The supervisor commended the city of our support and thanked Vernon for donating 1,000 turkeys for families and for that is given away to nonprofits within the area to give to the needed families. I was honored to be there and thankful that Vernon was able to assist in this event and that our efforts to serve the surrounding community are recognized. And we did bring back a certificate from Supervisor Solis, which I left as City Admin's office. Are there any further reports from council? Seeing that there's no more reports with no further business, I adjourn the meeting at 9:56. And if I see council this afternoon, or actually in a little bit for that donation of the tree, I'd really appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, thank you.